Invincible has gained quite a bit of popularity thanks to its television series, but even before it saw the light of day, the comic proved to be a watershed within the industry. In a world full of Marvel and DC heroes, Invincible proved to be a breath of fresh air, being the typical superhero comic, but full of more adult and realistic plots and situations that would be impossible to see in the two big ones. There are many incredible stories in Invincible, but some clearly outshine the others. Whether it's incredible fights, great character revelations, or an important event for the story. In this video we are going to mention what are, for us, the 10 best arcs or stories of Invincible. Before continuing, we must make it clear that this video contains quite a few spoilers, so, if you do not want to find out about the future arcs of the series, we recommend that you stop watching this video. Without further ado, let's get started. 10. The Reset. This story is extremely interesting, as it plays with a concept that greatly bothers new readers. The constant reboot of characters. Despite that, this arc has a very special way of fixing this. Mark, Eve and their newborn daughter, Tara, move to Taliskria. Mark decides to help the coalition of planets and discovers a mysterious energy source on a mission. Mark decides to investigate and then wakes up on the day he got his powers. In the end, it is revealed that some aliens are the ones keeping Invincible prisoner in that place so that he can try to fix the mistakes of his past to forge a better future. Mark refuses and instead asks to be sent back to the future so he can be with his wife and daughter. This entire story was intended to deconstruct the trend of universal reboots like the one that occurred after Flashpoint. However, it also shows that Mark has priorities beyond being a hero, mainly protecting his family. 9. The Seid Invasion. This arc is currently being adapted into the Amazon series, but it's so good that we couldn't not include it in this list. While the Seids aren't Invincible's biggest enemy, these little parasitic aliens are some of the deadliest creatures in the galaxy. These creatures can attach themselves to almost any sentient being, gaining their powers and knowledge in doing so, as well as increasing their own strength. When the Seids arrive on Earth, the situation turns into a pitched battle. The heroes must be careful to eliminate the Seids from as many hosts as possible. At the end of the fight, only the original host, Russ Livingston, remains, and Invincible decides to kill him. The other heroes despise him for this choice, leading to much introspection and doubt on the hero's part. This arc not only featured plenty of bold action, but also set up a deeper exploration of Mark's character and his methods as a hero. 8. The Return of the Flaxins. Fans of the animated series may remember the Flaxins from their one-sided war with Omni-Man in the first season. However, these return in several later comics and have quite a story dedicated to them. After another encounter with these invaders, Monster Girl and Robot jump into their portal and disappear from the story for a while. However, the heroes eventually return, having aged 12 years. The time-displaced heroes had actually spent centuries on the Flaxin homeworld and ruled it for years. Monster Girl even sired a son, Monix, who later returns to get revenge on Robot for ruining her homeworld. Monix reveals to the other heroes and the public that Robot was brutal and totalitarian in his rule, casting doubt on the boy genius. Thanks to the sense of mystery both within this arc and the plots it establishes, the Flaxin saga remains one of the best Invincible arcs. 7. Astram Levy's Revenge. Angstrom Levy is one of Invincible's greatest enemies, and the one who attacked him most personally. The two fought several times throughout the series, but their first appearance is quite memorable. Levy kidnaps Mark's mother, Debbie, and his younger brother, Oliver, forcing Mark to save them. He then sends Mark on a journey through the multiverse, where he even encounters Spider-Man. Eventually, Mark is able to return and defeat the villain, but the damage has already been done. His family is traumatized and Mark doesn't know how to act as a hero. Also, Levy escapes and then returns to cause even more damage to Mark. Like many great Invincible arcs, Angstrom Levy's stories in the comics feature tension and tragedy that force Mark to become a better hero than he was before. 6. The Invincible War. Not only did Levys send Mark to parallel worlds, he brought other versions of Mark to destroy him. The Invincible War involved multiple different versions of Invincible invading the main universe and completely laying waste to it. Only the combined might of all of Earth's heroes, Cecil's many tricks, and Levys' betrayal of the alternate Invincibles put an end to the enormous threat. The Invincible War arc had major repercussions throughout history. It made many heroes distrust Mark and make him doubt his own nature as a hero. It even caused a big fight between Mark and Cecil over some things the latter kept secret. In addition to having cameos from Spawn, Witchblade, and Savage Dragon, this story also features some of the best fights in the entire series. 5. The Beginning. Invincible has one of the best hooks of a comic series. The initial premise is pretty simple. What if a Superman-like character had a son who also had powers? From the beginning, Mark begins to become a hero and explore the world around him. Then Mark's father, one of Earth's greatest heroes, kills the world's greatest heroes. The opening twist of Invincible is incredible and really draws the audience in. Readers stand alongside Mark as he learns to use his powers and is forced to confront his father. It all concludes with a big confrontation between father and son, where Omni-Man retires and leaves Mark as the new protector of Earth. This story became the basis of the first season of the animated series, and it only gets more intense from there. 4. The Robot Change. After Robot's darker side was revealed, he wasted no time in making his move. The former hero decided that Earth would be safer and more prosperous under his exclusive rule. Unfortunately, he wasn't wrong. However, Robot knew that the other heroes would not see it this way, so he killed or incapacitated most of Earth's defenders. Robot's takeover of Earth revealed his true nature as a ruthless pragmatist. Calling him evil would be too easy. He truly believed that this was the best way to protect the planet. However, he remained absolutely ruthless in his methods and would kill some of his best friends to carry out his plan. This arc gave a lot of depth to Robot and set the stage for the conclusion of Invincible. 3. The Viltrumite War. In many ways, the Viltrum War felt like the conclusion the Invincible Comics had been building toward. The final confrontation between the Viltrumite Empire and the Coalition of Planets became the battle to decide the fate of the universe. The Viltrum War established itself as one of the most epic arcs in Invincible. Naturally, this arc features plenty of incredible battles, as heroes like Invincible, Omni-Man, Tech Jacket, and more battle the indomitable space warriors. He also sows seeds for the redemption of the Viltrumites. When the war ends, the aliens choose to live among humans and reproduce to increase their numbers. Ultimately, this leads them to gain a new appreciation for human life and their own nature. 2. The Arrival of Dinosaurus. After the Viltrumite War, Mark grew a little tired of his life as a hero. He felt he could do more good for the world than just beat up bad guys. This is where Dinosaurus came in, an anti-hero who could use the guidance of a real hero. This character used to do whatever it took to save as many people as possible, even if it meant harming a lot of people in the process. Mark tried to guide Dinosaurus' ideas so that no one would get hurt. Of course, this backfired when Dinosaurus caused a flood that injured many people, forcing Mark to stop him. However, this arc also revealed a new, more mature side to Mark, who was open to exploring other methods of saving people. Although Dinosaurus' approach turned out to be a terrible mistake, this important arc marked another step in Mark's growth as a hero. 1. The End of All Things. Invincible ended with a huge explosion. Thrag raises his own rapidly growing army of children and makes one last bid for power. The combined forces of the Coalition of Planets, the Viltrumite Empire, and Earth's heroes unite to stop him once and for all. Mark confronts the tyrant on the surface of the sun and barely defeats him. But the story of Invincible doesn't end there. Robot attempts to kidnap the Viltrumite children, but is quickly detained and imprisoned. Mark takes over as Emperor of the Viltrumites and leads his people to the stars. The final issue previews Mark's life with his family, his adult children, and the Empire becoming a force for good across the cosmos. In the last pages of this story is where Mark and the readers can see what Invincible has after 500 years. Being a clear reference and a spectacular closure of what his father asked him during his great battle. For now, that's all for this video. If you are thinking of reading the Invincible comics, tell us which of these arcs you would start your reading with and if you think they will be adapted as is in the television series.